Hello, my name is Anil Mankar. I'm co-founder and chief development officer of BrainChip Inc. Today, I'm going to introduce MetaTF at this conference. Previously, we had introduced Akida neuromorphic neural processor at the same conference. MetaTF means post TensorFlow. So Meta means post and TensorFlow is TensorFlow KRS. So our machine learning framework is actually what you do after your network that has been developed in TensorFlow KRS and take it into a neuromorphic world. A little bit about BrainChip. BrainChip was founded in 2013, and we have about 45 data science and hardware software engineers, about 14 patents. Even though we are a startup, we actually did our funding through a public financing on Australian Stock Exchange. And we are now a part of ASX 300, which is the S&P 300 index in Australian Stock Exchange. We have 10 plus customers. We compose of early access customers who are playing with our chip and network MetaTF. A proof of concept plus customers we are developing specific networks for and optimizing it for Akida, and IP customers who are licensed our IP to be included into their SoC. Our target markets is smart automotive, smart consumers, smart healthcare, smart imaging, and smart transportation. A little bit about Akida. Akida is different than a standard normal deep learning accelerator where the neural network runs on the CPU. In Akida case, we run most of the network on Akida hardware itself, and the CPU basically just configures the network and does some pre-processing. So in that regard, I'm happy to let you know that Akida has been released to production, and Akida is working in the lab. You see a board here, and the networks that we are running on Akida are what a robot needs to see in the real world. Like robot can see, robot can hear, robot can smell, taste, and sense to a tactile sensor. So all of these networks have been ported to Akida through MetaTF and running on Akida chip. So one of the reasons for why you need neuromorphic-based computation for AI inference at the edge is that when you want to run inference at the edge, it is not just a smaller version of what you did in the cloud. And even in the cloud, when you run inference, the resources, more resources and storage requirements are coming to a saturation point, and they are not really suitable for deployment at the edge. And in the edge device, you need to learn something in the field. Standard solutions don't allow you to do that. But the neuromorphic computation-based AI is the next generation of solution. The basic fundamental architecturally, it allows you to take advantage of inherent sparsity in the data, and it can learn on the chip. Because it avoids computation where there are no events, it is ultra low power, and it doesn't need to go back to the cloud for running inference. Akida chip that BrainChip has developed is a next generation neuromorphic computing solution. But conventional neuromorphic solutions are difficult to program and people are hesitant to use them. This is the reason we introduced MetaTF, which is based on industry standard TensorFlow KRS. And it's supposed can take a standard machine learning CNN world network and take it into a deep learning neuromorphic world. That's what the tool will do. The tool also will allow you to code native SNN optimized model for deployment on Akida neuromorphic computer. So we support two types of models in MetaTF. One is what we call deep learning SNN models, and second type models are native SNN models. Now, deep learning SNN models are genuine CNN models that you were developed in your cloud, TensorFlow KRS, you did backpropagation to extract features. We preserve all of those work that has gone into developing your CNN. Only thing we do is we actually convert that into a deep learning SNN by using MetaTF and our tools called CNN to SNN flow. Then the inference can be run in a neuromorphic NPU, and we actually convert frames into events and run the network there. So Second type of model is the native SNN model, which are directly coding of the data, either coming from a DBS sensor, which are spikes, or you can encode the data into spikes directly and use the native API in the MetaTF to run, develop the networks. So both of those are very familiar with TensorFlow KRS. This will look very familiar. So the machine learning framework that is MetaTF is very intuitive. You don't need to learn anything new. You're already familiar with TensorFlow KRS, then you know how to use MetaTF. The way you do that is start your models in TensorFlow KRS and then convert them for deployment on Akida neural processor using MetaTF. This is all done in very short steps. The box here shows all the light blue boxes are what are functions done in TensorFlow KRS, while the dark blue boxes are what the MetaTF tools that help you do that. So you design the network, you can train in TensorFlow, whatever you need, 32-bit floating, 8-bit floating. After that, you actually quantize it to 4-bit activation, 4-bit weights, because that's what the Akida does. We actually support 4-bit weights and 4-bit activation, so the memory requirements are less. After that, you can actually, after quantization, you can further tune the network and optimize accuracy and activation sparsity. After you're happy with that, you can save the network into Akida format, which is compatible with TensorFlow KRS. Now the runtime software that MetaTF provides will take the network, interpret the interpretation of the network, program the NPUs, program the network connectivity, and run inference. All that is available is a seamless flow from going from a CNN world to a neuromorphic world. Let's take an example of how a deep learning SNN model is created. Simple example, MNIST, everybody is familiar with it. TensorFlow KRS, you take the model, import it into MetaTF, and check first thing for model compatibility. Of course, for MNIST, most of the functions are already compatible, so you may not need to make any changes. But in some networks, you might have to make it model compatible with the hardware that is supported by Akida. Once the compatibility has been checked, you might have to retrain the network because functionality might have changed. Now you actually train it and test the accuracy. After you're done with that, you start importing for quantization, and you convert it into 4-bit weights and 4-bit activation. The input layer probably will be a RGB 8-bit layer for MNIST. So after quantization, you take test the accuracy. If you're happy with it, then you can save it. You might have to scale the network because it needs to fit into those values. Save the network into Akida format in a TensorFlow KRS equivalent network definition. Now the Akida backend model, which is a runtime software, will come and load the model, load the data set, and run the prediction and analysis on that. As simple as that. Now, the reason for taking your inference into neuromorphic world is that it gives you enough parameters to control and select the type of network, the memory that you want to use, the accuracy that's required. So take example of visual record, which actually decides whether there's a person in the frame or not. You can either run a MobileNet V1 1.0 that needs 3.2 million parameters. So it needs half of that for parameter storage, and it gives you 92.3% accuracy. But you could actually go down to a MobileNet V1.5 network. Certainly the number of parameters are much less, the memory requirement is less, and you get a 91.8% accuracy. That might be good enough for your visual record. Actually, Google recommends to run a MobileNet V1.25 network for the visual record, which actually has only 210K parameters and needs only 103 kilobytes of memory, and you get a good enough accuracy at 89.7. So you get to choose the amount of memory, depending on your edge device, and fit into the memory available there. The second thing you can do is also trade off accuracy versus sparsity, and start with a network that is, let's say, ImageNet, which does a 10-word classification. Start with accuracy of 92.4 and activation sparsity is 66%. Through activity regularization, you can actually increase activation sparsity to 77%. Yes, you might lose a couple of percentage of accuracy, but maybe for your data set, that's good enough. And suddenly you have reduced the power to only 68% of what it was. And you can continue doing that to increase the activation sparsity to 84% and maybe just have half the power that you need. Again, the solution is what frame per second you need and what power you want to spend. And you actually get a lot of knobs after converting into a neuromorphic solution. Similarly, visual backward example that we talked about, you can, through activity regularization, you can increase the activation sparsity to 74% and spend only half the power. Same advantage happens, neuromorphic computations is very good for taking advantage of inherent sparsity, which most of the 3D point cloud classification problems like LiDAR or 3D point sensors do that. Here's an example of a PointNet++ network, which on a ModelNet data set that can classify 40 different objects or 10 different objects. Of course, when you do 10 different objects classification, the accuracy is much better. Here you can play with the, again, activation sparsity. By taking it to 78%, you reduce the power for 3D object classification by almost half. And accuracy goes from 90.5% to 88%. So it is important that running the inference in neuromorphic domain allows you to play with memory capacity, accuracy, activation regularization, and power, so you can really get the right solution for frame per second per watt solution for your problems. An example of MetaTF doing a native SNN. Here's a good example of eNose olfactory sensor that can do 20 chemical compounds and give different values for different chemical compounds. We have taken actually 12 sensors in that takes samples every 2 hertz. And you get the output values are bin into 64 different activation levels and 300 time points. You could take that data and directly encode it as a 1-bit weight and 1-bit activation and connect it to a fully connected layer. And now using the on-chip learning, extract features out of those spikes coming in and do a classification of 20 different smells. And this can be done in a very low power, 7 milliwatts with just using one NPU. And all the weights are actually stored in external memory. That's a good example of direct encoding of, since you know the data, how to encode the data into direct spikes, it takes advantage of very small networks and very low power. So what we have done is, we have started converting quite a few of deep learning CNN models into SNN, and that library is available at doc@brainchip.com or ModelZoo. Quite a few networks have been converted. We also have coded a few networks directly into native SNN, and we continue developing that. One good thing about this, all the models that we have converted to Akida in neuromorphic world, is that they're all ready for a one-shot learning. So not only can you do inference at the edge, but you can do one-shot learning. So you can, as things change in the edge, you can add a few more classes for classification and do a continuous learning and save the learning that you see. So in summary, MetaTF is an intuitive framework that can train at the edge and can convert and deploy machine learning models on Akida. Also allows you to convert it, has a growing library of deep learning SNN and native SNN models. Some of the examples are image classification, person detection, face detection and classification. object detection, keyword spotting, and of course some native models that are there for Eaton, which is gustatory classification, olfactory classification, and time series data, other time series data that can be analyzed directly into neuromorphic world. Thank you for listening, and we'll have a separate session for question and answer. Please join us there.